be here. We're going to be showing you the entire parade. Ryan, tell us a little bit about the parade. It's been gone for the past 2 years, not in person.
That's right. It's the 40th year of the parade. It's been since 2019 that we've seen people here lined up on Washington Avenue here in downtown Bergen. So it's certainly great to be back. No parade in 2020, a virtual parade in 2021, but there's nothing.
Mass this morning and then a breakfast, so this is an all-day affair over here.
And speaking of Mass, we're stationed right outside St. John the Evangelist Roman Catholic Church. Thank you to the staff at St. John's for letting us borrow their front lawn today. We have a camera pointing at the intersection of Washington and Main. Just a couple moments ago, you a lot today, but people just happy to be back after a 2-year break.
Yeah, we might sound like a broken record, but it really is exciting to be back in person and speaking to people. We're outside, there's not too many masks in sight, so there is a feeling of normalcy. And I know going back to 2020, St. Patrick's Day was one of the first events that were canceled, and for Irish pubs, that's where they make a lot of their money for the year. So that was really, really devastating for a lot of the Irish pubs in Bergen County and beyond. And now, to be here 2 years later is really meaningful, and to be able to celebrate with some Guinness, some corned beef and cabbage. It's very exciting.
Absolutely, and not just here in Bergenfield, but of course parades taking place all around the state. We had a couple last week, a few this weekend. Some were postponed yesterday. We'll get those in, of course, in the coming weeks, and then there's plenty more happening next weekend as well. So it's certainly kind of the unofficial kickoff to spring. It might not feel like it today. It certainly didn't feel like it yesterday.
Oh, yes.
But in more ways than one. Corned beef.
Absolutely.
Sounds pretty good on a chilly day like
It does. So we have a marching band coming up. We're going to throw it over and let you enjoy some of their music, but we'll be here checking in with you throughout the parade. Group come past. We're here with Tommy O'Reilly, the owner of Tommy Fox's. So tell us a little bit about those bagpipers that we just heard.
Well, that was Clan de Vale. They've been around since the inception of the parade. I think they've led the Grand Marshal up for all 40 years. Anytime the Grand Marshal has come up the avenue, they've been led by Clan de Vale. So great band, and now I think we've got some Boy Scouts that are bringing up the flags around the Grand Marshal, and the Grand Marshal Kieran Lynch is about to join us.
Amazing. Tell us a little bit about Kieran Lynch.
So Kieran, basically, we couldn't have thought of a better guy to be our Grand Marshal this year. But kind of basically, there's a lot of planning that goes in all year long. It comes together, a lot of moving parts. John O'Malley, the parade chairman, has done a great job getting everything together. We have a new president, Deirdre Spallin. Basically 2 meetings a month, sometimes more, leading up to the parade. And like I said, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
A lot of different groups to get together and make sure everybody is on the same page. And I think when you restart something like this that has such a history, it's just great to just get restarted. But I think you have a moment where you forget a lot of the little things that you just used to remember. Hey, we did this last year. Not like we just did it last year. There's a lot of restart.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
Just great to be back.
And what does it mean to you, Tommy, to be back? I mean, like you just said, a rough 2 years.
With it, I think it's just absolutely phenomenal to be back in person. As Deirdre Spallin said, our president said at the flag raising ceremony, it's just great to be back in person with everybody out on the avenue and being able to celebrate. Like I said, 2 years in the 2 years coming.
Absolutely. So right now. the next parade literally tomorrow. So this is an all year thing, which is why we make such a big deal out of it. I have a fun question for you.
Okay.
How much corned beef do you go through today and on the 17th?
Well, today's a little bit. It's not as big of a food day, but on between now and Thursday, we'll probably go to between 1,000 and 1,500 pounds. It's pretty crazy.
My gosh.
Yeah. A lot of corned beef hash left over afterwards.
I was gonna say we were seeing some good corned beef hash come by.
There's a lot of trimmings.
Yes, exactly.
And when you look out in the crowd here, you see, I mean, a lot of kids with their parents, and in some cases their grandparents. So this is kind of a generational event where people can come out, whether they're Irish, whether they're not Irish, to kind of kick off spring. It means a lot to the people in this area. What does it mean, to you, and to come out here every year, have this circle on your calendar, to be back? What's that like to see?
And you have some little ones
families
yourself,
out
don't
here?
you?
Yeah. So, I think you're 100% right. This is a multi-generational event. I came to this parade as a kid. I had cousins that grew up in Bergen. We actually celebrated our 24th anniversary of Tommy Fox's yesterday. So this is our 25th parade in business. So I mean, it's obviously been a huge part of my life, the business. And like I said, we see year in, year out, and like those families grow. I've got a little 5-year-old Michael. My son James is 9 months old. Like as Michael looks forward to, as he calls them, the bagpipes.
Yes.
So it really is. It's great. And like I said, I think this is even though it's a little chilly, a little windy, it's sunny, right? We could have maybe used some sunglasses up here.
Oh yes.
But the crowds along the avenue at the moment. I'd say this is up there with
of the parade. Do you have a fondness for a certain step dance, a certain bagpipe crew?
Well, my sister danced with the McLaughlin Early School of Dancing, so I've known Patsy again since I was a kid. So I love to see the dancers. The Ridgewood School of Irish Dance, they've had a couple of rough years. Their founder, she passed away, very suddenly, and they've had, so her daughter Ashley has taken over, Ashley Stanek Daly, she's taken over the school, the Ridgewood School of Jig Factory. So looking forward to see them back on the avenue. Again, all the bagpipes. Bergenfield High School Marching Band, this town is like on the map because of them. They travel. I think they're headed to Disney in April. They're a staple. They're this community, and it goes everywhere. So I think actually coming in the distance, we hear the Bergen Irish Pipe Band come.
had some of the grandpa's old coffee. Benson, he's been sipping on grandpa's old coffee. Oh man, are you lost? Are you lost, man? Nope.
been enjoying the parade. We hope you've been too. We just saw some Irish step dancing. We can hear some more marching bands down the street. But first, before we show you that, we are going to throw it to an interview that I did earlier at Tommy Fox's this morning with our Grand Marshal, Lynch. So let's check that out. I am here with Lynch, who is the Grand Marshal of this year's parade. What was it like to be named Grand Marshal?
It was a great surprise, big honor. My life never thought that I would get selected as Grand Marshal, but I'm very proud to do it and happy to be able to do it the year coming out from the pandemic. I'm hoping we have a little bit of cold weather out there today, but I'm hoping that the Avenue will be full and we'll have a lot of marchers and be back to what we've done for many years.
Yes, it's definitely cold, but it's sunny. And you are the president of the Bergen Irish Association, is that right?
Correct. I've served, I just actually have stepped down. We have a new president, John O'Shea, taking over in 22. But I've been president of the Bergen Irish 3 years prior to that, 9 years total over many years.
Right. So I know you have family from Ireland. What is it like to be able to celebrate Irish heritage every year?
Oh, it's great. I think it's terrific. Irish people have been coming to the United States for many years, and every St. Patrick's Day is kind of like a culmination of remembering all the people that came before us.
Yeah. So what are you most excited about in the parade to see?
I just hope there's people on the sidelines to wave to. I don't want to pretend that I'm waving out to empty crowds, but it'll be nice to have a bagpipe band leading me up the avenue, and it'll be great to be up top on the reviewing stand and see the Bergen Irish come by, which is the association that I'm involved with.
All right, we are back. We've been enjoying the parade. We have some more Irish step dancing schools coming by. The St. Anthony's Parish in Northvale. It's been really fun to see all of these different community organizations be represented.
Absolutely. A couple of Irish-American fraternal organizations just walked by. We saw Rockland County Pipes and Drums Band. So not just New Jersey, New York making their presence known as well.
We love it.
Field School of Irish Dancing walking by now. So things really starting to get fun. New Milford's Marching Band, the Marching Knights just came by a little bit ago. We saw them as well. All the bands, about a 1-to-1 ratio of American to Irish flags as well, as you see all these groups walking by. Certainly the wind's dying down a little bit. The sun is out. It's definitely cold, but it's a great time to be outside. We're stationed here again at the corner of Washington and Main. A big thanks to St. John's for letting us borrow their front lawn for our broadcast today. You saw some of our roving camera shots along the parade route. You saw our drone footage a little bit earlier. And Rebecca, you also caught up with the Grand Marshal. You can hear how excited Kieran was to be back and to be the Grand Marshal for this parade.
Kieran was saying how shocked he was, but I mean, he's just such an important part of the Irish community. His grandfather was Irish, so there's just a lot of history, a lot of rich history, and it was so much fun being at Tommy Fox's this morning and seeing all the old Grand Marshals interacting with each other and catching up. Like there's such a sense of community, which is exciting. And again, not to harp on COVID, but coming after these 2 years, it's really nice to see everybody having such a good time.
And again, it's kind of the start of St. Patrick's Week, if you want to call it that. Of course, this Thursday, that's the big day, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. I'm sure Tommy Fox's will be busy on that day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Irish pubs up and down the state as well will be, I'm sure, having a festive atmosphere that day. Some parades happening next week as well, so even though St. Patrick's Day will be over, still plenty to celebrate as we round up Irish American Heritage Month here in the month of March. Another bagpipes band getting ready to walk by our station here. Parades happening all around the state. I know Asbury Park was having their parade today as well. There was a couple last week down the shore. Belmar had their parade. Really up and down the state, wherever you look. It seems like towns, counties, they're all celebrating.
Everybody's taking advantage of the sunshine. Again, it's a little cold, but who cares when you're, surrounded by so much fun. So, yes, we do have a couple more bagpipers coming up. But before that, we're going to show you a couple of historic photos. Again, this parade has been going on for 40 years. It started in Hackensack. So we will flash to a couple of those photos and walk down memory lane. owner of Tommy Fox's. We did have a little bit of a microphone problem earlier, so we apologize for that. But don't worry, Tommy's back. He's going to fill us in on everything we need to know again. So, Tommy, let us know your relationship with this parade. How often have you been coming? What's your history?
Okay, well, like I said, I don't know how much went out earlier, but I've been coming to this parade since I was a kid. We actually celebrated our 24th anniversary yesterday in Tommy Fox's, so this is our 25th parade in business. I've been the last decade or so a trustee with the council that runs the parade. I served for 2 years as the president. As we joke around, I was the president without a parade because it was during the COVID years. And I'm back as a trustee now, and kind of just been involved in the planning. Tommy Fox's has kind of become the de facto headquarters of the parade, just purely because of its location on the parade route. And like I said, as a trustee, we're part of putting the whole thing together.
Yeah. Well, we have an amazing band that we're listening to as we come by. So how long does it take to put together this parade?
I think John said earlier in his interview, planning for next year's parade pretty much starts. Actually, myself and Pete Quinn, former parade chairman, we're standing on the steps of the church, and we're already talking about next year. So we could actually honestly say that planning has started for next year's parade today. So,
it's already begun.
Yeah, it's already begun. So you try to add a little bit. You try to say fix little things that you see, and so it's an ongoing. Parades are for anyone that's involved in running them, they know it's a living, breathing. It's alive itself. So it's a lot of moving parts, organized chaos. But it's great to be back. It's great to have them.
Absolutely.
Right? And Tommy, we mentioned it before, our microphones are a little rusty too after a 2-year break. But just go over it again for us. It's been since 2019 that we've seen people lining the parade route. A great crowd on hand today. Just to be back with friends and family, and to be a part of this parade in the 40th year. What does that mean to you?
It's fantastic. I mean, everybody in their own way was touched by COVID over the last 2 years. We've all had lost somebody close to us. Like I said, it's just great to be back live in person, people out on the avenue, and it's crazy. Like I said, I think we're looking at crowds that we normally get when the weather's 40, 50, 60 degrees. I think people were ready. They really were ready to be back out, and it's great to be back out.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before too. Kids out here with their parents. Their parents probably were kids here one time with their grandparents. Just the generational tradition of coming to this parade. You mentioned your children as well coming to this parade. Just what does it mean to families to have this circled on the calendar every year?
Yeah, I think it's like I said. I used to come. I had cousins that grew up in Bergen, so this was on our to-do list. So we used to come up to the parade. We've been later on in the week, like the Bergen County Parade was always the Sunday before St. Patrick's Day. So this was kind of like the warm-up for going into the city. The big parade on Thursday. My own 2 boys, my son Michael, he absolutely just loves the parade. Like I said it earlier, he calls them bagpipes, and we're not going to correct him, But like I said, in the 24 years even the Tommy Fox's, the amount of people that come in that got married, that now have kids, their kids are coming in. Kids that we met, teenagers now have their own children. I mean, it really is. It's multi-generations. It's a true family tradition.
Yeah, we just saw the Bergen United Soccer Club come by. So again, Ryan and I were talking earlier about the parades that we used to be in when we were in sports. So it's just a great way to get everybody involved. Again, we did talk about this earlier, but remind us of how essential Tommy Fox's is to this parade. And I'll boast for you, it's an amazing pub. It's one of the best places to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, and it's kind of become the unofficial family home of the parade. So what do you guys do to celebrate?
Well, we've got music all day long. If the weather had been better, we would have had music out in the back. We've got, we've had a tent the last handful of years. In reality, yes, it's Tommy Fox's is central just because of its place on the parade route, but it really is. It's say far more than that. The group that makes up the executive, Deirdre Spallin-Laria, she's our new president. John O'Malley, the new parade chairman. This is his 4th year as parade chairman, but 2nd parade. Pete Quinn, 20 years. The council that runs the parade or is in charge of raising the funds. basically all the executive, everyone wears the title after the name really doesn't reflect what they have to do
How
or
much
what they
they're
bring.
doing,
Right.
yeah.
We kind of, like I said, Pat Heaney was our financial secretary for years. Quentin Kennedy, former president, now the current treasurer. You know, so basically we all wear many different hats as we try to pull this together. But the council itself is made up of, right from the get-go. The idea was when they talked about a parade, they realized that no one Irish group in the area would be able to handle all the logistics that went into it when it first started. And the first couple of years was down in Hackensack, and then it was
Right.
moved here to Bergenfield. But the council was formed and is made up of other member organizations. The Bergen Irish that we saw, Kieran Lynch, Guy Marshall, he was president of the Bergen Irish for multiple stints. But they make up the council. We have the dance schools, the AOH that marched by, Steve Baxter, who was an aide in 2020, didn't get his chance to march. He was marching there proudly. So like I said, the council, you go to BergenCountyIrish.org. You'll see all the member organizations, see a lot of the stuff we do. Again, I think as a group, we're looking forward to restarting. This is our first real event back up and going, but we're looking to restart. We sponsored concerts in the past. We had an Irish festival that went on in Overpeck Park. So I think like as we get started, like we said, the mics, everything needs to be restarted.
Yep.
We're gonna have, it may take us a little while to get back up and going fully.
Absolutely.
But like that's our aim, that's our goal, to get back as much to what life was like before today, like 2 years ago, and try to remember everybody as much as we can, everyone that lost, and kind of say get things restarted.
Well, it certainly feels like that. It certainly feels like a return to normalcy. And we want to thank you for coming to speak with us again and for everything that you do for the parade. It's such a great time coming together.
Well, thank you guys from NorthJersey.com. Really do appreciate it. Like I said, it's great to be back. It's great to have you guys, and looking forward to working with you guys kind of over the next couple of years. Listen, enjoy the parade as
We'll
much
be
as you
back
can.
next year.
Yeah,
You
and
can't get rid of us.
Like I said, we should have brought sunglasses, but
Better
Long
sunny
Johns-
than rainy.
Long Johns with sunglasses.
Yeah.
It's typical, March weather.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, thank you very much. Really do
Thank you so
appreciate
much,
having me.
Tommy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Got some more pipe band.
Yeah.
the many Grand Marshals. Tell us a little bit about your history with the parade. I know your father was involved, so give us your history.
Pretty much my family's been involved in the parade for the 40 years. I was a past parade chairman for 20 years. I've done the parade. I handed that off to John O'Malley. My father was a past Grand Marshal. I was a past Grand Marshal. Actually, my father-in-law was a past Grand Marshal too, Bill Cummings.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a small town like all throughout New Jersey. This is our little niche for our little Irishness in this Bergen County. It's so great to be involved. Again, my family, back when I had a different color hair, my father was alive, but it was, it started small. It's become bigger. I wish it could be bigger, but I'm happy just to be out here today, celebrating after especially the past 2 years of being in the lockdown. So it's great to share, to be part the community of Bergenfield, Bergen County, and the surrounding towns. So I'm very happy.
Absolutely.
And Pete, that's something we're going to talk about a lot. But just being back after the last 2 years, we had the virtual parade last year, but we haven't seen scenes like this since 2019. To see the people back out, just kind of the festive atmosphere, everyone just happy to be back. What's that like to experience?
It's when I march down the street and just looking at the faces of the people on the sidelines, clapping, hooting, hollering, it just felt so good. And it was like a back and forth thing. You felt just as good as you feel marching. These people felt good clapping and giving their hands up again, because everybody, it affected everybody. That's the whole thing.
Absolutely. So we got some River Edge fire trucks going by a little loud, but this is the 40th anniversary of this parade, so you're a living testament of the fact that we've had generation and generation. Is it exciting to see the little kids marching in the parade and wearing their green?
It's one of the nicest things to, again, I grew up the way I grew up. Both my parents were from Ireland, and it just as my wife's side of the family, my mother-in-law is from Ireland. It's just a tradition that we share. My kids, my sisters, they marched before with, now my nieces and nephews, their kids are marching in the parade. But you see other kids, all little kids. And the nicest thing, especially the dance groups that come back, you see the different nationalities.
Yeah.
So it really, like as you were saying, you're part Irish. It's just everybody's got a little bit of Irish in them, and that's the nice thing about it.
And this parade, it's a tradition, like we've said, for so many families. But for families that are looking to start a new tradition and maybe attend next year's parade, what would you tell them about coming down here to Bergenfield and
What's your advice
experience
for the
this?
perfect day?
To me, I knew what the weather was going to be. All I wished for was a sunny day. I'll take the cold. I'll take, when I was Grand Marshal, it was raining. I've been in this parade where it rained, snowed, and you had everything on the same day.
Yeah.
So to me, a sunny day is a great day. And, again, you're Irish to the core, you're good.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Peter. We really appreciate you talking to us, and thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we are also going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining us for the parade. I've been Rebecca King.
And I'm Ryan Ross.
All right. Thanks. Have a great St. Patrick's Day.
Very good, guys.